Okay, I'm Jinu, who is just a humble musician in Korea, based in Korea. I'm a singer-songwriter
Hmm.
and bassist of a punk band. I'm doing some sort of solidarity things
Hmm.
for people. Yeah, and then I don't know. I don't know what to say because yeah,
What
who
punk
am
band?
I?
What punk band do you play bass in?
A punk band called 반말. It's 반말, like
Yep,
존댓말, opposite of 존댓말. But yeah, it's that's the name.
that's a great name for a punk band, I think, in Korea. That's
Yeah,
that's
but
really good.
yeah, cool. Yeah, thank you.
What do you make of the punk scene? I first started playing in the punk scene and Hongdae Playground and Club Spot like back in 2005, I think. What's your take on the punk scene here?
I'm very new to punk scene, so
Hmm.
everybody have been doing a punk thing for a long time, but I'm very new because I was just doing my thing, my country, because I'm doing country
Okay.
as a singer-songwriter. But uh, I just jumped in the ba the band
Mm.
just because I have a bass guitar because they don't have bass.
Yeah.
So, oh, would you play bass? So, okay, I have bass guitar. Yeah,
That's
that's yeah. It began 2018 maybe. So I'm a newbie
That's
in
the
the
beauty
scene.
of punk music, man. Is if you've got an instrument and you've got an attitude, if you're willing to play, you can you
Yeah.
can get in. I like it. When you say you play country, is that like America? When I think of country, I think of like John Denver and things like that. I know that's the wrong thing to say, but is that like country
Yeah,
and western or Korean country? What kind of country music?
I don't know. I'm trying to do some dark thing.
Yeah.
I really like Johnny Cash, but
Hmm.
not not the happy songs.
Hmm.
I really like Folsom Prison, or like lyrics is really dark, or Johnny Cash song Hurt,
Hmm.
or
Hmm.
yeah, some sort of thing. So I want to do that kind of vibe. Yeah,
That's a
that's all.
That's a good vibe. I think the country, there is a lot of that in the country thing with the Marty Robbins and the gunslinger kind of attitudes towards it.
Yeah,
That's cool. You mentioned solidarity
yeah.
earlier. You do things for solidarity. Solidarity, I've got a couple of questions here. The first one is like solidarity with what, or solidarity towards what? Yeah, let's start with that, I think.
I don't know, towards especially people who got bitten by police
Hmm.
or government violence.
Mm.
Yeah, mostly. Yeah, and poor people, sick people. I used to have very narrow mind, and I just took care about of myself. But after some accidents,
Mm.
now I can see how bad this society is. I just want to be with them, not just taking care of myself.
Mm. That's a very cool thing when you have solidarity, when you have allyship, and you think beyond yourself. You think of the community. I want to ask you, in some societies or places, the big issues of solidarity might be with race or other things going on. Here in Korea, you mentioned the idea of violence, whether
Yeah.
it's police violence. Can you explain a little bit of that violence, how you've seen it, or what kind of violence you're talking about, Jinu?
First of all, I don't like governments
Hmm.
and police, but I've seen many yeah, very severe violence in Noryangjin,
Hmm.
and the young dogs, hired dogs,
Mm.
or police beat beating old ladies. Yeah, I cannot stand that. It's brutal. It was horrible. They use water cannon. They use, even they use very huge excavator to demolish their homes. Yeah, so I've seen many horrible things. So yeah. What was the question? I'm sorry.
No, it was just like the nature of the violence, and I think you've explained it, that some maybe comes from the police, some comes from hired thugs, and I did want to ask you about that. This idea of yongyok, I guess, is
Yes, Yongyok. Yeah, that's the correct.
that's not a common word, I don't think, for people that don't speak Korean, or maybe for people that do. You don't have to like give the English translation, but like yongyok as an idea, as a concept, what's that, Jinu?
Yongyok is gangsters,
Hmm.
not like American gangster like group or something. They're just hired by government, like 구청 or 시청, and then government let them just beat someone up, and they use violence because of the money. Sometimes just they want to express their anger or something. Yeah, so 용역 is, I would call it just hired state hired gang, or 깡패 or something.
I think that makes it even scarier when you think who they're being hired by, where the money's from, and that it would be sort of state sponsored or regional sponsored violence in that sense. That makes it more distressing. I guess before we to understand this violence a bit more, we need to understand the Noryangjin story, or your experiences there. So I'm not quite sure the best way to start the Noryangjin story.
Yeah, it's really long story, so I don't even know the details, and I want to tell you just my personal experiences.
Excellent.
I didn't know what's going on in Noryangjin at all. No, it's been 3 years, but yeah, they've been protesting like 7 years or 8 years. But yeah, I just got there because of my friend Seth. Yes, that's just want me to participate and some play songs there.
That sounds
So
like
I
Seth.
just, so hey, why don't you come here and then play some songs? Because we've been doing some country night, the show called Country Night or something. So okay, that's cool. So I went there. It was very cold weather, and then I played bass and guitar, everything, and then I didn't know what's going on, but I've seen some photos because they show me some pictures they took, and I listened to their story after the gig, and then I decided, okay, this is the place I can do solidarity with my music, my musical talents, because people liked my song, maybe. I don't know. I hope so. I started, going there regularly and sing some songs for them. I hadn't seen the actual violence or horrible things there because it's just solidarity thing, and I just played some songs there. But after a few months, I got a call like, oh, it's very urgent, you need to be here. So I went there, and then policeman and 용역 and some officemen, I don't know, 구청, like 500 of them, raided in 4 a.m. in the morning, and they tried to demolish the protesting sites and their homes. Their not homes, just the where they're staying.
Right.
They use severe violence on old ladies, like they punched, they kicked,
Mm.
they insult. They use very huge, yeah, as I said, excavator.
Mm.
There was a cat the merchants had,
Mm-hmm.
and then they crushed the cat's house too.
Mm.
So it's missing now. We don't know if he alive or not. Yeah, it was very pretty bad. We tried to resist, but how can we you know,
Mm.
confront 500? I don't know. It's maybe I'm exaggerating, but yeah, like 100 of young men.
Especially if
So
there's
yeah.
police and the thugs there as well and officers. I mean,
Oh,
it's not just
it's
one group, but it's like a combination of things,
yeah, but
right?
mostly it's Yongyap because they are hired by Suyap, the company,
Hmm.
and the police were just do nothing, just doing nothing, just
Just observing, just watching, I guess.
yeah, just watching, and then we cried, "Oh, please help us,"
Mm.
because we're beaten like by these thugs, but police, yeah, didn't do nothing.
So I think just before we get back to this, the Yongyuk and the violence, for there might be some people listening that have no idea what Noryangjin is, right? So Um,
Oh yeah,
it's Noryangjin is a fish market, and
yes.
so if anybody has an idea of Korea that's all skyscrapers and K-pop and things like this will be a bit different. I
Yeah,
remember
totally different.
the first time I went to the old Noryangjin was with my father-in-law, and I was brutally hungover, and there, people are just pulling out fish on the slabs and cutting them up and chopping them. It's a real live, bustling,
Yeah.
alive market. Um, uh, what has been like? So it's a live fish market. Can you, in your words, in your experiences, like describe the area, like where it is? So because it's a million miles away from downtown Gangnam or something like that. So what's the place like for you, Jinu?
Noryangjin Fish Market is a public wholesale market located in Noryangjin, of
Mm.
course. So it's near by Noryangjin Station,
It's kind of by
and you can
Yoido as well, isn't it?
yeah, it's
Mm.
near by Yeouido in Noryangjin, and this is a public market. It's been yeah, it's a very old market. All merchants have been, you know, selling fish uh for 40 years, 30 years.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's very old place. I think that's why Seoul government yeah, they call it 미래 서울시 미래유산, like future
Mm.
legacy.
And I want to come to some politics as well, perhaps with it. But so it's a fish market, kind of basically in the middle of Seoul, but it has that long history, that long tradition, and it's kind of
Yeah.
battling against modernity, right? What kind of what are the people there like? So you've said you saw, old ladies being attacked and things like that. What kind of
Yeah.
people? What kind of people do you encounter at Noryangjin? What are the people there like, and who are they like in terms of age or demographic or character, personality?
They are very fun people, basically.
Mm.
Yeah, they're of course they're old, but
Right.
very fun people, and yeah, they've been doing this their whole life. So they're merchants and very, energetic, very fun people to hang out. You know, they love music.
I was going to ask, like, did you make any friends down there? The people like?
Yeah, some of merchants uh close,
Hmm.
but I wouldn't say it's friends because of I don't know, they're all grandmothers
Mm.
to me.
It's a bit hard in Korean culture, that thing, isn't it? Like there's
Yeah.
that age. You need that age thing, right?
Yeah, I can
But I know what you
say
mean. Yeah.
they're just so citizen, just normal people,
Mm.
like everyone else. Like they like uh trot, 가요,
Mm.
and they love K-drama, and yeah, like everyone else. Like they're just decent people, just decent citizen.
Mm.
Yeah, nothing special. They're they just wants to keep doing what they've been doing.
Mm.
Yeah. So what was the question? I'm sorry.
No, that's. I think the description of them of like just being sole citizens, but
Yeah.
perhaps they're sole citizens whose story doesn't get told, and not only does their story sometimes not get told, they're sole citizens who get beaten or treated unfairly, and that's something that your music or the movements do to draw attention to it, right?
Hmm. They are very strong. I was very surprised because they are very, as I said, old ladies
Mm.
mostly, but they never surrender, you know, to about any pressure or uh, violence. Yeah, and I was very surprised that they yeah keep standing there and
Mm.
yeah resist every time.
So I'm wondering if the fact that they're old women in South Korean society,
Oh
does
yeah.
does that mean that it's easier to kind of ignore their story, or for the people to treat them badly and it doesn't get on the news because it's not as glamorous, or there's not as much attention sometimes onto the old
Oh
people in
yeah,
society? That's what I'm asking.
yeah, a little bit. I think yeah, that's also the reason other people can't hear about the Noryangjin protest. But other mainly, I think it's not because of their age.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's because just government the corruption between government and a huge company.
Mm.
They try to block everything.
So I guess with when we talk about the government and corruption, so what we have, again, just I'll try and describe a little bit for anybody listening, that there was this old traditional market and then a new market was
Yeah.
built, right?
Oh yeah.
And so it's a case of getting people from the old market into this new market, but people want to stay. Some people want to stay in the old market, right?
Yeah, it's
That's
separated now. Yeah.
that's their home. Yeah, but that was their home. That was their livelihood. That was their place. Um, and they were resisting the government. They were resisting this call to move.
Yeah.
Do you think that this problem, is it a result of greed? And not from the people's part, but from the governments and the companies like the Suhyap and things doing this.
Of course, yes.
Or is it, do you know, is it greed? Is it just governments being stupid, like not thinking? Because, they're just doing a job. Is it greed? Is it just stupidity? Is it actual corruption? What's the main driver of this?
Uh, all three of them.
Yeah.
Because okay, first of all,
Mm.
it's it's public market, right?
Right.
It's for people. So Noryangjin fish market is a public wholesale market. So it has to be a market for people. So Noryangjin fish market is established by government. with the public money
Hmm.
because it's public market. So, and that the purpose of that kind of market is to provide good products at good price for people, right?
Right.
Yeah. There's a law to prevent some kind of monopoly by just private big company.
Okay.
So yeah, the by the law, according to this law, the establisher has to be government, not private company.
Mm.
And government has responsibility of supervising on everything, like for stabilizing the price of the products because it's public market. But so governments just abandon the responsibility. They let Syrup can do anything. Like I don't know what to say.
And Sugap is a private company, right? So
Yeah,
the Seoul
yeah, very
government lets.
huge company.
Mm.
It's I would say it's enterprise.
Hmm.
Yeah. So Seoul government is supposed to supervise what's going on there and keep an eye on what Syrup is doing.
Mm.
But yeah, because it's their duty. But Seoul government just abandon their responsibility, and then Seoul governments don't care about Syrup what Syrup does, like don't care. Syrup got the money from the Seoul and then started 현대화 사업. It's like modernization.
Hmm.
Yeah, so they built the new building. So they Syrup promised to give Noryangjin merchants better place and is instead of the old marketplace. So okay, we're gonna build a huge building and it's gonna be awesome. You need to move. But it turned out it's not like they promised.
Hmm.
I was told that's why many merchants just refuse to move. Yeah, the new building has so many problems. Like each stores are very small. Yeah, comparing the old one.
Right.
And the hallway were so narrow to move stuffs. And then it has air ventilation problems, I think. And then was so they think that merchants think it was not for fishy wholesale market. It's just it looks like just a mart, like just small restaurant. There is just mart. Like yeah, they told me they had the Suihub has no understanding of structure
Right.
of actual fishy wholesale market, and they doesn't care about that. And of course, it has higher rents. It's
Of
really
course.
yeah. It's really higher rents. So yeah, all the merchants just I don't know. I don't want to move. Yeah, that's the moment the struggle began because they refused to move.
Mm.
So Shihab wanted to move them into this small building. So yeah, that's the beginning of the confront, I think.
Sounds like a prime example of modern day capitalism in not just South Korea but everywhere. Pay us more
Yeah,
money,
it's
pay
the
us more
same
money,
old
and have a
story.
smaller place. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same old story. The problem is they use severe violence on old people. Yeah, so
Does politics play a role? Because you mentioned Seoul City government sort of being negligent, handing over the responsibility to a private
yeah,
company, even though it's a public market. So, is it political? Is one side got the backs of the supporting the people, or one side's really against it? Does domestic politics play a role in this, or is it just kind of
What
money?
do you mean side? Like party or some specific party or
Yeah, well, Park Won-soon was the mayor for about 10 years, I think, wasn't
yeah,
he?
yeah.
And he was always seen as a champion of the downtrodden, and I saw pictures of him in like small apartments, and before and after that it's been no, Oh Se-hun, I think.
Well,
So
also
I'm just wondering if domestic politics has a role in this at all, or who's in charge of Seoul City.
it doesn't matter which side, which party,
Mm.
which some sort of thing because Park Won-soon also did very horrible things because it began. I don't know. It's very long story, so I'm gonna make it short.
Hmm.
Oh Se-hun and Park Won-soon also did very horrible things about Noryangjin the fish market,
Mm.
and it's just about corruption, government between private huge enterprise. So I don't think it's about some political side.
Do
Like
you think? Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. You know that it's not necessarily one side doing it and the other side not, but it's a broad, it's bigger than that, maybe, right?
yeah.
So
Oh, and did you know the notorious Choi Soon-sil? You remember Choi Soon-sil, right?
yeah, and Chong
Yeah,
Yura and
Choi Soon-sil also involved in the modernization business by Suhyun. So Chaeun-taek and Lee Sung-han, who was head of the Miru Foundation,
mm,
yeah, they were trying to build casino and
mm,
some sort of multi-complex resort or something
right.
for the money, but using the old place,
Mm,
the property of the old market. So it's not about the political side of something because after candle protest,
hmm
Park Geun-hye impeached. Uh, all the merchants had very high expectation
hmm
about Moon Jae-in government,
mm,
but Moon Jae-in government also, yeah, yeah, they doing same thing,
hmm
yeah, because no one tried to take responsibility of this situation. Yeah, nothing changed, nothing new happened. Yeah, so I don't think it's some kind of political uh
mm.
side thing.
That is kind of sad though, because remember the feeling in the country of those 2016, 2017 candlelight protests, the impeachment. It felt like, okay, there's democracy in the country of the people and
Yeah.
Minjujui. There was a real feeling of optimism, I think, amongst many people in South Korea. Not everyone, but the Daebubun. They were like, yeah, this is a good feeling. So it's kind of sad to hear that there was no change and there was still no government support, and that makes me understand why we started talking about this, your solidarity, because no one else is doing it, the government's not doing it,
Yeah.
so that's
Yeah.
why you're doing the solidarity, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we disappointed on, every politicians,
Mm,
including Seoul government or 청와대 or yeah, everyone, 구청,
hmm
because they have no the will to solve this problem. They just they want to just neglect, and then okay, just as they've been doing like when we protest in front of the Seoul city, Seoul government, they said, oh, that's Suhyup's problem, go to Suhyup, and we protest protest Suyab, and Suyab said, "Oh, that's yeah, you should talk Kuchong," and Kuchong said, "Just that's so problem. Just go to Sichong." Yeah, it's it's really annoying.
Yeah, no one takes responsibility, but everyone wants to take the money. Is it
Yeah,
is it part of a broader? So I know this really affects Noryangjin, and is it part of a broader problem in Seoul of like gentrification? Because I mean, we started off talking about the punk scene and that, and I know that's been moved out with rent in Hongdae, things like that has to go to
yeah.
Mule. And do you think the situation in Noryangjin has unique characteristics, or is it part of this broader problem of gentrification where all the sort of traditional and people's homes and livelihoods are getting sort of demolished and crushed down in Seoul?
Yeah, you can say it's just broad the gentrification, but there there is huge difference from just regular one. I don't know. I don't regular
Just regular
gentrification
gentry.
because yeah, it's the same as Daejangdong problem or
Mm,
Gangnam problem, or you know the government let private company play freely just and take some money, take a huge profit from there. Yeah, it's very big difference because it's government and huge enterprise, yeah, shaking their hands, and then they sign a really weird illegal contract, and then they make it huge because they want money,
mm.
huge profits. The old marketplace, now it's just they built soccer place, the soccer ground, and the baseball stadium. Yeah, some kind of ground, but it's not for people. It's for just laundry their taxes.
Mm.
Yeah, because 동작구청 promised to Suhyup like, oh, you built a playground for people. Okay, we lower your tax, and
Right.
then Suhyup just take it. And then the funny thing is, Suhyup will demolish that place after 3 years because they want to build something big. They want money.
It's pretty sad that, what was once, that's probably the sad thing, that what was once like, it's meant to be public, it's meant to be the people's, and it's the government is meant to take care of it and
Yeah.
provide it. But then the companies have too much influence and they have too much, they're in capitalism. They have to make profit and do their things. That's really sad
Yeah,
that that happens.
it's same old story, and then we all know what capitalism can do. The capital Suhyup is doing what capitalism, you know, can do everything. I don't know what to say.
It can build smartphones and put men on the moon, or it can take money out of a grandmother's pocket and take away her home. It can.
It's technically, yeah, the merchants' money, but it's also Seoul citizens' money
Mm,
because the Seoul city just give Seoul city, Seoul government and Dongjakgucheong just
mm.
give the money, give Suhyup a huge money, keep giving the money, but it's which is it's tax money. It's this public money, so it's technically Seoul citizens' money. So Suhyup got gets a huge profit, you know, from our pockets,
Mm,
like all Seoul citizens' pockets.
mm.
Yeah, that's sad.
That is sad because now more than ever people are hurting as well. People need that money. This is not the rising economy at the moment. Certainly not for many people. Um, Jinu, this idea, I just want to make sure we touch on it one more time. Because I want to understand it, the Yongyok and the violence. Now,
Yeah.
what I want to ask about is that I know, from my studies that that was certainly a technique used during the 70s and the 80s and times of urbanization in South Korea. But what makes me surprised is that these organized thugs, right, these hired people,
Yeah.
would still have a role in 2021. Now, that's the thing that surprised me, because it feels like, well, we're meant to be in this kind of safe, modern, urban city, and all that kind of shady stuff would have finished by now because there's just too much transparency and CCTV
Mm.
and things like that. So how does but you're saying that the Yongyok, the hired thugs, they still work like that in 2021?
Nothing changed, I
Mm.
think, when it comes to, government violence, because they doing horrible things, legally,
Yeah.
because governments let them do that. Because yeah, government hired them. It's I don't know.
They look pretty scary when I look at videos and photos and things like that online.
It's really scary.
I wouldn't
So
want to be in their way. Yeah.
oh yeah. And once I got water cannoned, they shoot water cannon
Mm.
straight in my face. Yeah, it was really hurt. I thought my face torn apart. Like
Mm.
it's really horrible, and I was very scared. And I think all the merchants, have been exposed, in that kind of violence every day. So that's why one of the merchants, who was the youngest person, died a few weeks ago.
They died as a result of the violence and
Yeah,
the
it's
is it like a 사회적 타살?
yeah,
Is it a
사회적 타사 is I don't know what to translate,
social
but
killing or social? Yeah, I don't either. It's a hard one to describe.
yeah. So we all think, okay, Suyab and Seoul governments should take responsibility of this death, because uh the Nasegyun, yeah, his name was Nasegyun. Nasegyun was suffering from all the anxiety, fear, depression, and trauma. So he said, yeah, he literally said, I cannot. The living is so scary, and I cannot uh, take this all shit without alcohol. So he used to drink every night, I think.
Na Se-gyun, you said his name was.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's sad that I guess it's called, if it's called like 사회적 타살, then it doesn't have, nobody's responsible for it, is it? It's like that kind of anonymity again, I guess.
Yeah. So that's why we are protesting now in front of the city, the Seoul government, the Seoul Sicheong,
Mm-hmm.
the building, and we built some sort of
Nice.
memorial. You know, is it right term? Memorial?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I understand
memorial. Seoul government demolished that memorial also, using force
it.
of police. So we are staying in basement of what's called the downstairs beneath the city hall,
Yeah, I know where you mean.
because yeah, because they try to demolish everything.
Mm-hmm.
So it's sad that our grandmothers staying there in this cold weather.
All right.
Yeah.
And I know the area you mean, that there's often music down in those, in like event halls and things as well. In the What happens going forward, Jinu? So I guess these are the kind of two questions I have at the moment. The first is like, are you positive about the future? Do you see something? Do you see what could happen or what could change? I guess that's the first question I want to ask you.
Yeah.
What happens going forward? Like,
Honestly, I was like, oh shit, this is not gonna work. Like, because they're huge and we are so small,
yeah,
and we always been, yeah, bitten, kicked, punched, injured by dogs.
mm,
But nowadays I have, yeah, some sort of positive mind, because people started, uh listen to us,
hmm
yeah, listen to our story, and some magazines or photographers, or artists, yeah, wanted to be involved. So yeah, it's gonna be huge. It's gonna be, bigger and bigger.
hmm
Yeah, it's going to get bigger, bigger, bigger. So probably when we have a large numbers of people protesting, yeah, I'm pretty sure we will win.
yeah. So it's about it's about numbers. It's about attention. It's about making people aware of what's going on.
Yeah.
So important. What can what can normal people do? Right. So I mean, there might be some people listening to this. They might not be an artist. They might not be a musician or something. You know, but what 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 does a normal person do? I guess
Hmm. Normal person.
a sole citizen
I
or a
am normal
citizen.
person.
Yeah, I'm a bit weird, but yeah, I guess I'm normal too.
I want them to just listen and understand our situation, because
Mm,
when we protest a few years ago, they just, people around just city just think like, oh, Noryangjin protest, that's merchants has 욕심, like, yeah, they're greedy.
mm,
They just don't want to go to the new building because of they're greedy. They want more money,
mm.
but it's not true. So I think, yeah, I will very appreciate them if they just listen to our story and understand. I don't know.
No, that's it. One thing that I've learned is always just try to listen to as many different people as possible, and I think really importantly that includes the people at Noryangjin and yourself and what everyone's going through. It, I guess it must be really hard because I'm thinking of it now, especially during the cold weather. I don't mean to laugh, but like
Mm,
on a breezy spring night, I think it must be quite nice to go down to Noryangjin and
yeah,
drink and hang out with the people and listen to music, and it might be quite a nice, heartwarming experience, right? But then
yeah,
I'm thinking about the brutally cold nights and things like this that must make it all the harder sometimes.
yeah, and COVID, of course.
Yeah, not even, yeah, of course, that's and that keeps everybody inside sometimes. I guess it keeps everybody less paying attention to these issues.
Yeah, yeah,
That makes
true,
it
true.
easier for people.
Because we cannot, we, yeah, we weren't able to do any kind of protest or gathering
Mm,
because of the
yeah.
COVID rule, which is unfair because they always, the police and Yongyak always showed up like 500 of them, and they told us always, oh, no protesting, it's dangerous, it's contagious, like,
Mm,
yeah, that's bullshit.
yeah. Some animals are more equal than others, aren't they? We know how that goes.
Mm.
Um, where is there a way people can reach out if they want to do something, or if they want to see more? Do they go on? Do they just type Noryangjin into Insta or Twitter or something like that? Do you know?
Actually, we don't have something like that, but as far as I know, they try to do something, online thing,
Hmm.
but the merchants are all, not used to, you know, use smartphone or
Right.
use a Facebook or something.
Mm.
Yeah, but at least some organizations that involved in this situation trying to do more, online thing. Like, I don't know, but I'm personally I'm just doing solidarity
Hmm.
as just as individual, just individual. I'm not in any kind of organization, so.
Lie, tell me your lies. Don't give me the truth till I die. Lie, just make me blind. Then every day I'd be satisfied. Tragedy, I'll be fine.